Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Danny on NFL, a show dedicated to the Indianapolis Colts and taking a look at what they did right, what they did wrong, and what they can improve on. So this week we're going to take a look at the 15-13 win as the Broncos went to Lucas Oil Stadium. The Colts did not play a great game, they did not play a bad game. Specifically, the defense had a couple of rough penalties on them, but we're going to go over a couple of those in the coaching film. So let's try to get 5 likes on this video here. Make sure to share the video, subscribe, hit that notification bell for every video I do. Now let's get into the coaching film.
First play we're going to talk about is this little 3rd and 4 that's right here, and it's just a little quick out and up. It's called a high-low. It's called a high-low in football terms here. So it's just a simple cover 2 defense. You got Justin Simmons up here, and then Kareem Jackson up here, and Jack Doe is going to come up here and run a quick out, and then Pascal, who's running right here, he's just going to sprint as fast as he can and try to get the attention of the safety in this corner. And they're in zone coverage because you can see he's playing about 10 yards off of him here. So when this play goes, you'll start to see him sprinting, and then he makes a cut, and it opens up that little hole there right in this zone right here. And Doyle gets the first down. This is just a pretty simple heads-up play. And he snaps the ball right when the linebacker is making a change. So it kind of gives the offense a little bit more of a advantage. And then, of course, the offensive line blocks really well. 27's playing inside. So it's just a simple, good play by the Colts. This next play really shows the athleticism of Von Miller. So Miller's here on the bottom of the screen, and Jack Doyle is going to come into motion here. And essentially what Jacoby is trying to do, he's trying to get this defense to shift up over here because they've got a counter going. So he's trying to sell the counter. So as this play goes on, what you'll see is instead of having a right tackle taking on Miller, they're going to double team him with the tight ends there. And Miller just beats them. For some reason, the Colts offense, they like to put 2 tight ends on a pass rusher, and I don't understand it, why they do it. But they do for some reason, and Miller just beats them. Take a look at it from the end zone perspective. He's just making the call and sells the counter, cuts back. What they're hoping for, this is called a zone blocking right here. So what they're hoping for is instead of creating a hole, they're going to drag the defense over to the right hand side, and that's going to allow for some holes to open up. But Miller, being the athletic pass rusher that he is here, just beats the double team and makes a good tackle. And like I said, I don't understand why Frank Reich and the offense insist on putting 2 tight ends to seal an edge. So this is another pretty good play by the Denver defense, and this really shows how smart that Justin Simmons is. So this is going to be a little in and out route, or what they call a bow tie. And essentially what that is Ebron's going to run in right here, and then he's going to cut out. And what that does is he's trying to get that safety and the corner to bite on the inside route. But they don't bite on this little bow tie route right here. And then Pascal right here, he's going to run a deep out. And what that does is he's trying to force that safety into a 2-on-1. But the Denver defense is extremely smart. So you can watch as this play unfolds and keep an eye on Brissett's eyes where he's actually going with this. that's the one mistake that he makes too, is that instead of looking off Simmons, he stares down his receiver here. So the ball's hiked here. Pascal runs a little twist route, goes to the outside, and at this point, the first read is Ebron running right here. But of course, Denver's defense here has triple coverage on him, and then they got triple coverage up here. So thankfully, they got a little underneath route that he has to check down to. But this really should have been a bigger play. And you can see kind of the twist at least there, or what they call a rope. And what that is you got doubles here, and the two receivers are going to break out in opposite ways. And that's supposed to confuse the defense a lot here, but since they're in zone coverage, that release doesn't matter. Just a really good play by the Denver defense. So this is the first penalty by Rockison here. It's going to be down. It's going to be man-to-man coverage on this guy right here on Sutton. And what he's going to do is he's going to follow him along, and he's going to grab his jersey right there. So, I mean, that's just a rookie mistake. And Denver does a pretty good job at selling the play action, which if we pull this back and look at it, all the linebackers right here crash down as if they're going to run it, because Denver's not really a good pass offense. So the safety even takes a couple steps forward as well, too. So now, the goal of a counter or a toss play is to sell a pass play, but this ends up actually being a play action pass. So all the linebackers crash down, and that leaves Sutton one-on-one on a crossing pattern here, which is perfect for man-to-man coverage. So we let this play out here. So then he cuts, and Yasin grabs him there. Now it's a rollout because the Colts have a pretty good pass rush. And then it just turns into a big play. There's a holding call. So then there's not a play. And they get an automatic first down. Again, that just comes with playing again. Anytime that you grab a jersey like that, the refs are going to call that. You can see him just kind of grab it up there on the top of the route a little bit. So, yeah, see, I mean, just not really a catch. We'll watch this again. Kind of happens right at the top left of the screen. Right there, he grabs him. Ends up not making the catch. That should be second down and 10, but because of that penalty, it's 5 yards forward, and they get a first down. So now you're going from a 2nd and 10 where the defense has the advantage to now you have a 1st and 10, and you've given them a first down.
All right, so now we're going to take a look at the sack here by Justin Houston. So this right here is going to be, obviously he's in a shotgun, so he's doing the man motion. A lot of times teams do motions to kind of get a feel for what the coverage is. So right here, this guy's traveling with a tight end here, which typically means that it's going to be a man coverage. Now you've got this guy on here, and then you got this guy on here, plus you got this guy on here. And my guess is because he's playing on the outside right there, he's going to be having some safety help, and then this guy looks like he's going to stay deep and cover both of these two and give these guys safety help here. So as this play develops, what you'll see is what we call a twist. twist release right here. So he's going to go this way. He's going to go this way. And what they're trying to do is confuse the defense here, kind of get the coverages mixed up, except, and then this is going to be a out and this will be a in and out route. So what he's going to do is he's going to go inside, hoping that this corner is going to jump this route. Then he's going to come back around. And right now, Flacco's looking off the safety. And then he turns. See that? So now he's expecting that this route is going to be open, but he gets sacked for it because it doesn't have time to develop. So we'll let this play out again. And you can just see the power that Justin Houston has. Just pushes the tackle back, takes him out. That's a great play. So we'll watch it from the end zone perspective here. And we'll just see the power that he has and kind of what Flacco is actually looking for. So we'll let this play out a little bit, and then you'll actually see this twist or the rope release. That's what we call a rope release. Of course, when I say we, I mean high school. Could be different now, but essentially what you're doing is you're trying to confuse this defense here. So now, and then you got the running back coming out of the backfield as well. So now what Flacco is doing here, his first read's going to be this guy jumping, going this way here. And what you're hoping for is that the corner is going to undercut that slant. And then you cut it to the outside. And then you got a big play, right? But Justin Houston doesn't allow that play to develop there. So let this play out kind of in slower motion, and the defense does a really good job in coverage here. So right here is where he's going to do the hitch, and now this is right here. This is the hot read. So he's supposed to decide right here whether he's going to throw it to this guy running up here, or if he's going to throw it to this guy coming along over here. But the Colts defense does a really good job at preventing that from happening there. This is just a great play by Houston. This is just showing that the savvy veteran, he still has it. Gets underneath the tackle, throws him back, gets him off his feet. That's just a great play. Okay, so this is the field goal that the Colts got that penalty on. So basically here, Grover Stewart is going to be right here, and what happens is he trips over and he falls on the center here. And you can't do that now because of the stance that center is actually in, or the snapper. So it ends up being a personal foul, see? And that's what happens. And so now you're giving the ball back to the offense here at the 14-yard line with a first down, when that should have been 3 points, right? So then on that same drive, the defense gets them into a third down, which is what this is here. And what you're going to see here is Kari Willis makes a defensive holding call here. And this is just showing how he's a rookie. Sorry about that. So he's covering this guy right here.
And what you'll see is he gets a good get off. Right? And then he turns, and that right there, that little grab right there, that is defensive holding. And you cannot impede somebody from doing that. And the sad part is, if you look down at what Flacco is doing, we sack him. So now that turns into a 5-yard penalty and a first down. So let's look at it. So he's right here, holding right there. You cannot do that. Okay, so this next play just shows how good that Justin Simmons is right here. So he's covering Ebron. So Ebron is right up here. And this is going to be what we call a sombrero. So what you got here is you got a crossing route which gathers up this linebacker in coverage. And then you're going to have a kind of a deep post right here which takes on the safety. And what you're hoping for is both of these safeties kind of bite down on there so that you can get this guy open here. So Brissett's looking this way, hoping that the safety starts drifting over there, and then this is just going to be a deep in route. So this guy's going to come into here. This guy's kind of like round off his route. This is just going to be a crossing route, and then the back's going to come out of the backfield here. So as this play goes, Justin Simmons recognizes it, just makes a pretty good play on the ball. I know that Ebron got up. He wanted a PI call, but that's just really good defense by Justin Simmons there. So, and then the offensive line did a pretty good job at blocking, and you can see kind of why trips is a pretty good indicator of man coverage. So now everybody is going to their prospective man, right? So now Brissett knows that it's man coverage, and you can even see if you watch where his eyes are going. He looks left and then he comes back right. So his first option is the guy running a streak there. So this is just a good play by Justin Simmons. So this play just shows really the good awareness that Mack has when he's running the ball. So this is going to be originally designed where he wants to go is right up in here, but Von Miller is going to crash down. So what he does is he actually has to bounce it to the outside. This is just really good awareness by Marlon Mack here. And you can even see just how he realizes that this is just not going to be a play that he's going to be able to get any kind of yards in there. So he makes the cute little hop and then turns on the jets to the outside. So here's this from this perspective, right? So that hole gets filled, right? So as that's going, that hole gets filled right there. So then he sees, dang it, Jesus, my goodness. Why? So then he sees the safety crashing down right here. So he's looking directly right there. Slow this down a little bit. And then he goes to turn and he sees that safety right there. Makes a cute little hop. And then just turns on the jets. Speeds up quickly. Turns on that jets. Gets a nice stiff arm. Gets an extra couple yards due to that stiff arm. This is just great awareness by Mack right here, knowing when to bounce it to the outside. And then the very next play, the offensive line gets pretty good blocking here too. So they're going to get a crease right in this B gap right here. So, and then you're going to get the offensive line going into the second level as well. So Glowowski's going to get that guy right there and push him. And then they create a nice little crease there. So this is just great. So you got a crease here, a crease here. He's pushing this guy back down. Brissett does a really good job at selling the play action. And then Pascal comes up, gets this guy here, and then you got this crease right there. And Hines is so quick that he can run up there really, really fast and get a couple yards. So it's another really good play by the Colts offensive line. Okay, so this right here is a good check by Brissett here. So what Brissett is seeing is he's looking at the defense here. And what he notices is this guy's going to rush. These guys are going to rush. And this guy, I don't know why that keeps happening. Sorry guys. And then this guy right here, you see how he's on his toes right here, how his heels are off the ground? It means that he's going to rush. So Brissett sees this, and he moves Hines over here. Now, if you go back and you look at the defense, see how they're playing off, which means that they're going to be in a zone coverage here. So he knows this. So what he does is he checks Nyheim Hines over to his right side. And so now he knows he's not going to have a lot of time to throw the ball. So he's looking at his routes. And the first thing that he does is he looks over to the left. Right there. Looks over to the left. And he tries to get this route that's coming up here. That's where he wants to go. But Justin Simmons, right here, does a really good job at covering that little hitch route. So this route is covered, and of course he has somebody barreling down on him, so he doesn't have the power to get the ball to the outside corner and lead that receiver away from this safety here. So what does he do? He has to go to a check down. So he goes through his progressions and does the check down. That's a quick, easy 20-yard gain. It's great awareness by Brissett there to notice that pass rush coming, gets up, avoids the sack, gets it out to the running back who does the rest of the work. Okay, so the last play I'm going to talk about here is, of course, that really good play where Brissett avoids the sack by Von Miller here. And so as we let this play out, what you're going to see is what we call a defensive stunt. So what's going to happen here is Von Miller is going to go inside, and the goal is that right tackle, and that right guard are going to get mixed up, which is exactly what happens there. All right. Thankfully, Brissett is athletic enough that he avoids the sack, avoids the cleanup. Now T.Y. Hilton, right here, notices that, and he starts coming back to the quarterback here. But Brissett has to lob it over this linebacker here and make sure it's put into a place where it's not going to be undercut by that corner. So he gets it. Nice toe tap catch by Hilton right there. That was just an impressive play. So what you're really going to see is this right here. This kind of cut inside, outside here. Though that's called a stunt. And then he avoids the sack, avoids the cleanup sack, throws it up. What a great play.
So really rounding out the day, what we can see here, I got the Excel spreadsheet of what I took notes of here. So it looks like Rock Ya-Sin had kind of a rough day. He was thrown at 6 times with 4 receptions and 75 yards, with 18.8 yards per reception. But what really killed him was the yards after catch. I mean, the longest was 33 yards, so almost half of the yardage that he gave up came on one play, right? Now, the quarterback rating against him was 109.7. He did have 5 penalties on him, which were more or less the holding calls. But if you take a look at Marvell Tell, he's our 5th-round pick. He actually had a decent game. Was targeted twice, only allowed 1 catch for 20 yards. I mean, 85.4 passer rating against him. Not really that bad of a day, honestly, if you really think about it. But you win some, you lose some. At least the Colts won the game. Now here's Joe Flacco on the day. Not really a good day for a quarterback here, but not really a bad day either. I mean, he had 20 of 32, 174 yards, a 5.4 average. No touchdowns on the day. Not that bad, but those are typical Flacco numbers. Then he also had, a overall 62.9. He had a pass grade of 60, run grade of 63.9. Took 3 sacks on the day, which is always good. Threw it away 3 times. Really had a quarterback rating of 76.8. So, I mean, it wasn't a good day. It wasn't a bad day. It was just Flacco numbers, essentially. But I would say this was a good day for the Colts defense, even though the scoreboard did not reflect that. Now, this is another thing that I wanted to mention, too, is the offensive line, the blocking that they had for Flacco. So this is Denver's offensive line right here. And you can see on the right-hand side all the pressures that they've allowed. So you can see that the offensive line is a weakness for this team. And this was really something that I mentioned in the preview video about Denver, is their offensive line does not block well at all. Awan James is their guard. He's not a very good blocker. That really showed. And Garrett Bowles is not really a good pass blocker either. He allowed a sack on there. And you can see the quarterback hurries allowed. Justin Houston had a really good day with 5 quarterback hurries, and really everyone except for the center and the right guard allowed pressures and hurries on Flacco. So, like I said when I was looking at Flacco too, I would think that this is a win for the Colts defense, even though that the box score does not reflect that.